Hello everyone. Today we shall look into the Power Apps introduction. Power Apps is a Microsoft suite of applications with connectors, and it is a data platform which allows users to create custom business applications without using any extensive coding or development skills. It is designed to empower people to build apps that streamline processes, automate tasks, and solve several business problems. We have few advantages with respect to Power Apps. Initially, if we could see, it helps with low code development, because even without knowing any programming knowledge, we can use great applications which are very helpful to businesses. We have ability to integrate with Microsoft ecosystem, like with Excel, SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, and many more applications using the Power Apps. And connectivity, it offers wide range of connectors which include the cloud services, on-premises systems, and even databases, where we could aggregate the data from different sources into one application. And this Power Apps, it could be useful in both desktop and mobile devices, so it could be accessed in various platforms including iOS and Android. Customizable user interface, it has the drag and drop interface, where we could easily create visually appealing and user friendly applications. Moving ahead, we have few other advantages. It has few built-in AI capabilities, where we could use it and integrate with Power Automate and AI Builder. It allows us to detect the objects, make sentimental analysis, and we can use in more applications. With respect to security and compliance, the data encryption is very controlled, and also the compliances, it is followed with respect to industry standards and regulations. Rapid deployment features has been enabled, and the things could be deployed very quickly, so that according to the changing business needs, the client gets the solutions very quickly. And next thing is cost effectiveness, where Power Apps applications are more cost effective compared to traditional softwares, with reduced utilization of resources, and very advanced features could be used in a very easy way. Scalability is another major problem with the business solutions. This Power Apps, it could accommodate needs of large enterprise with respect to the features which are required in a very easy way. Finally, we have workflow automation related things which could be integrated with Power Automate, and also reporting features which could be integrated with Power BI. Okay, moving ahead, we have licensing part, where Power Apps premium license, it costs around $20 per user per month. Okay, and we could run custom applications, unlimited custom applications, as well as custom, and we can run custom sites. We can connect with on-premises connectors and use custom or pre-built data connectors. We could store and manage data using customer entities. Using Microsoft Dataverse, we have 250 MB database capacity and 2 GB file capacity. Earlier it is known as Common Data Service, now it is known as Microsoft Dataverse. Executive workflows, we could use Power Automate, which includes premium connectors, and we could integrate and automate several tasks. And it is included in the managed environments, and we could use AI Builder service credits. Around 500 credits we get to use those capabilities. Moving ahead, we have different types of applications where we could use Power Apps to create. Okay, Canvas app applications, it could provide a blank canvas where you could design your application from scratch. We'll see how to do it. Let us understand what are the key factors and use cases where it is used. For example, this Canvas apps, it is highly customizable. Okay, it is ideal for creating apps with complex and unique layouts based upon our requirement, and it is typically created or for specifically tailored solutions, where we could connect with a wide range of data sources, and which enables to be used in both desktop and mobile devices. We have several use cases where wherever we require to build custom apps based upon a requirement with high degree of customization we need, we could use this Canvas apps and do rapid prototyping. Okay, moving ahead, we have something called model driven apps. These apps are based on a data model and also the underlying business processes. They are driven by the data structure, and it is built upon the common data service, or we could say Microsoft Dataverse. The user interface is generally automatically generated based upon the data model we provide. It has few key characteristics. For example, the user interface is generated based upon the data model. It focuses on managing business process and workflows. It leverages the Microsoft Dataverse, and it is well suited for the scenarios where structured data and defined processes are central. Okay, for example, if at all we have CRM softwares, or in such scenarios where the data is relevant in such a structured way, we could use this model driven applications to develop. We have few use cases. For example, if at all we want to manage sales pipelines and customer interactions, we could develop such model driven apps. We could make the workflows and processes automated using the operations which are developed by the applications. Moving ahead, we have portal apps, where we could create the external facing websites which could interact with the data stored in Microsoft Dataverse. These apps are designed for interactions with customers, partners, and external users. Okay, and it provides the authentication and authorization features through which the data is safe and secured. Okay, it can be used for customer self-service portals, partner portals, and many more such websites where data has to be integrated. And common use cases is like customer self-service portals, wherever the account management is relevant, we use these portal apps. And similarly, wherever the communities, forums, and collaboration is required along with the data sharing, we use these portal apps. Okay, let us understand how we could explore the power apps of Microsoft. Go to the Google, type power apps .microsoft.com. Here we could see the Power Apps interface, where we have the home tab, where we could create few things, where we could learn related to Power Apps, and here we have applications related to the Power Apps. Okay, and also the tables informations, we can create flows, solutions, and we have many more things to explore. Okay, and if you could see Power Platform along with the Power Apps, we have all these things which could be integrated, like Power Automate, Power BI, Power Pages, Power Virtual Agents, and also we have Power Platform Admin Center. So these are the few things which could be explored from here. Let us understand the home tab. Here we have the start with data, page design, and app template. We have few applications where we could access it, which were created. Okay, we could develop canvas and model driven apps, even the portal apps. Here we have the documentation, where we could explore using the Power Apps entry level things. If we click on the create, okay, we have blank app, where we could start creating a blank app using Dataverse and other sources. We could see how to connect. If you scroll down, you could see many more things where you have sample templates which are maybe like model driven. You have several templates for canvas apps, right? You could explore several applications and check how those works, and you could learn from them. If we click on learn tab, here we have guided learning with respect to the documentation, and there are many things where we could watch the videos and learn as well. Here we have applications where you could connect with multiple sources, as well as here you could see that I have created a demo application, and the list of the things which are shared with you and all the applications which you have created, it will appear over here. Okay, rest of the things we'll gradually explore. Let us go to the create tab, and let us create a blank app quickly and understand how things work. Here if I click on blank app, as I have mentioned, we could create either canvas app, model driven app, and we can create either these Power Pages, or we could say the external facing website. For now I'll click on this blank canvas app, click on create. Okay, you can choose any format which you want, either phone or tablet. I'll keep the tablet size so that the size appears well for you. The application, suppose I wanted to type a entry form application. If at all I wanted to create, I'll type entry form, I'll click on create. Here I have a screen. If you could notice, these are my few menu bar settings where I could quickly access things. Okay, and here we have a few features where we could access them, and in right side we have this formatting related things, and in between whatever you see we have the canvas where we could work with, right? And let us explore gradually. Here if at all I click on these three lines, here you could see that we have this tree view, insert, data, media, power automate, variables, advanced tools, and search. Let us explore one after the other. Okay, these are the same things which you could see. As you could see that it is a tree view and it has two things, screen and components. We'll explore gradually in the other videos about those. Here we can take multiple screens to work related to the power applications, or you could say power apps. Let us this is the blank screen which we have. Suppose that I'll click on new screen and take another blank app. You'll see that this is my screen 2 with a blank blank application. Okay, if we don't want, we can click on these three dots and click on delete. Okay, now I have this screen. If I click on this plus button, you could see that we have many more things like features in order to add. For example, if I select the text label, it will add the text label over here, and this text label belongs to this screen 1. If I go to the tree view, you'll be able to see that okay, this screen 1 consists of label 1. I can rename the screen 1 as our entry form. Okay, in the label, suppose that I wanted to make it as label first name. Okay, this is my label first name. I'll just you could double click, or you could change the value of the text in the formula bar, or in the right side if you see the text, all these features they will be available in this drop down. Okay, suppose I click on this text. By default the text is selected. I could remove this text and I could type first name. As soon as I type first name, you could see that first name is highlighted. On the top you can just bold it. The features where you could see here, you could even change over here, right? So similarly you could create other labels. For example, I'll copy this first name. Okay, I'll create another label which is last name. I'll type label last name, and similarly text I'll write as last name. I can copy this again, Control C, Control V. I can create another label. Suppose I want email ID. Okay, I could type the email ID. To input the data, we would require some text input. Here we have the text input from the insert. I can click on this text input. Okay, here I can fill in the data using text input. I can rearrange it with appropriate spaces. Okay, using my mouse I could change the positions. I can copy this text input. I can copy this and paste in the bottom. Okay, here you could see those lines which appear for the proper alignment as well, right? If you want to select multiple things, what you could do is you can select like this. Okay, and then using mouse or you are using keyboard, you can just bring them down. Okay, for example, I'll select the text label. If you want to make a heading, okay, what I'll do is I can just enlarge it. Okay, and here I'll select the text. I can bold it. I can increase the size of it to 20. I can center align it. In the right side you could see all the formattings. In the color, if I could fill it with blue color, and text I'll make it to white color so that it will appear well. Here you could see the text. Now as here I'll write employee details application. Okay, so here you could see that employee details application. So here the first name, last name, email ID could be entered. For example, I would require the joining date. I can copy this, I can paste it, I can create another label. Okay, I'll go to the tree view here. I can just rename this, right? This I could rename as label joining date, and instead of email ID I'll write joining date, right? So in order to pick the date, we would require a date picker. Here you could see the date picker. I'll select it, and you could bring this date picker over here. Okay, if at all the size is not appropriate, you could little minimize this, and you could, if you click on this date, you could select the date actually, right? Here you could select the appropriate date and click OK. Okay, here if you are not able to select, press Alt, and then you'll be able to select the date. Okay, when you run the application, you'll be able to select the things appropriately. Here you could only use the Alt to run. Okay, and next, suppose that if we want a drop down in order to choose the department, what I could do is I'll copy the label. Okay, and here I'll write department, and I could copy this text input, and I could paste it over here. If at all you would like to move it little top, you can do it. And here, instead of text input, in order to avoid mistakes, you can even use drop down. For example, I'll remove this text input. What I'll do is I'll search for a drop down in this insert, right? I can click on this drop down. Okay, here I could bring in the drop down to choose the department. Here if we notice, okay, on the top we have something called drop down sample, which is defaultly created by the Power Apps. Now we can even connect with the data sources, but rather than connecting with the data sources for now, let me do some hard coding where you could understand how to provide multiple values. For example, I'll write the square brackets. Inside, within quotations, I'll write HR, finance, sales, marketing, and similarly you could write multiple departments. For example, here if I open the drop down, you could see that and choose the respective department where the employee belongs to. Okay, for example, if at all I want any full name of the employee, what I could do is, like, as soon as we receive the first name, last name, for example I want a full name, what I'll do is I have moved the other fields little downward. I'll copy this last name, and together I can keep it here. Instead of mentioning last name, what I could do is I can write full name. Okay, and here I'll write, instead of bringing the text input, suppose that I wanted to concatenate the first name and last name, I'll select this text input. In the default, you could see on the top, in the default, I'll remove this text input. Now we have the text input values. Okay, in order to identify the text input values, you could select the respective text input and you could rename it. For example, I'll write the text input name as txt first name, right? Here similarly you could select the text input name for the last name as txt last name. I'll quickly rename it for all. Here I'll write txt full name. This is txt email id, and this is my date picker. We have this date picker, right? We can write dt joining, and this is department. The drop down, I could write it as department name. Okay, I have renamed all the fields with respect to labels, text inputs, date picker, and even drop down I have renamed. I hope you are able to understand. This full name, by default we have the text. Now what I would do is I need to concatenate first name and last name. So what I'll do is I'll write txt first name, okay, and dot. If you enter dot, you'll see all the features with respect to that: text, accessible label, and multiple things you could see here. Since I want text value, I'll select this text, and in order to concatenate we could use this ampersand similar to Excel and Power BI. Here I'll write another ampersand and type txt. I could take the last name, and here I'll type dot text so that we'll get the text value. Right now I have used this full name text, by replacing with the concatenation of first name and last name. And let us run this application. Okay, here if I type Pavan, okay, and here I'll type Sai, you could see that full name is automatically updated. I can type my email ID, right, anything, and I could choose the joining date, and here in the drop down I could choose the department. Now in order to submit, we can even bring a button. Okay, for example, to bring a button, here if you click on this plus create, okay, here you could see a button here directly. You could select the button, and in the button here I could I can make it in many shapes, or you could make it more fancy. I'll just write submit, okay, and here I have written submit. You could even place it in the bottom so that it appears well. And I have just created a sample application. Here there could be lot of things which are which has to be done in order to make it more useful. I'm just trying to help you understand how to create a form in a easy way and a better way. We shall gradually understand the other things in the next videos. This is all for today. Thank you for watching, and we shall meet in the next video.